All right, the countdown begins or ends, I should say. And let me remove the big screen there. Oh, you guys, I am so excited. It is time for our masterclass, day one of our masterclass, our fitness boot camp. Give me just a minute to get the presentation set up. I've been waiting not so patiently for you guys on this other side, and I see there are some comments. Good morning. So happy to have you with us. As you saw the countdown on the fitness boot camp, actually, I will put it back up because there's something I wanted to say. A lot of you know that I was just in Whistler, Canada, and went up on this beautiful mountainside, and I got to do my mountain pose on the top of the mountain. Loved the experience. And while I'm wearing jeans and boots in this one, I was up on the top of that mountain on the first day that we were there and was able to ski, not the whole mountain down, but part of it. And I hadn't skied in 40 years. That blows my mind. Okay. But I also have not been very physically fit. And this was a great reminder that it's fun to do stuff with your body, the mobility, the just the opportunities you have when your body is working. And so it really is one of the inspirations of our class this month. But March is such a great word anyway that I wanted to always try to put action into it. So let me get the PowerPoint up that I want to do the presentation on today, and we will get started. So love you guys and love your patience as I pull everything together here. So let me get the right things in the right places, and I couldn't have both screens up at once. So apologize for not having it set up, and I've got it on the same screen, so that's not the right things in the right places at the right time. And we will be ready to rock and roll. I love that you put hashtag live. Thank you for doing that. And let's share. I'm going to stop that sharing and bring in a new share. So perfect. Bum, 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 bum. All right, you guys, I am so ready to start with our boot camp. And I know some of you were like, what? A boot camp? Discipline? Hard work? Yeah. Okay, that is not the kind of boot camp I was going after. If you know me at all, you know I am not hardcore. I am much more a look at the flowers girl than an army outfit, although I have worn the army outfit. But one thing I know for sure, sometimes we need, let's see if I can move my thing here, a kick to get going. Okay. And you decide where that kick is going to be. But what I wanted to do was to get us talking about fitness in a positive, encouraging, supportive way that just kind of kicks you into action. It gets you going. It gets you back in touch with what's important. So today we start our day one of our fitness boot camp, and we're just going to see where this takes us. So when I talk about fitness is, there's physical fitness. We all know that's the use of the body, right? There's mental fitness. 80% of anything we do is about our psychology. So the mental part is uber important. And then we have our spiritual fitness, right? And as I started thinking about fitness and the physical and the mental and the spiritual, I couldn't help but think about the body, the mind, and the soul. And you can see how they perfectly relate there. Body, we have our physical, we have our mental, related to our mind, and we have our soul. So as I was thinking about this whole gamut of fitness, what came to mind was a scripture verse that is one of my foundational scriptures, meaning that I use my scripture verse as a way to keep me aligned, right? And the scripture verse, it's actually in 3 of the gospels. So you know that it's important. But the one that I resonate most with is Matthew. And so it's love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And of course, body, mind, and soul, even though they're not in the same order as I did them, and heart instead of body, you can see where I got my main inspiration. And I do think it's super important that we pick that apart and really get a feel for fitness in our terms. And all of us probably need to up level or upgrade some aspect of our body, some aspect of our mind, and some aspect of our soul. And you will notice that I didn't separate, like I didn't say body, mind, and soul. I said body, mind, soul as an upgrade because my belief is it's all a package, right? It's a collaborative, collective effort of your body and your mind and your soul. Like your heart can't do anything, your body can't do anything without direction. It needs the mind. The mind can do lots of stuff, but it needs some passion, it needs motivation, it needs stuff behind it. And so we're looking at the package of fitness, not just I got to go do some push ups, not just I have to think my way into a great body, not just I have to be super uber passionate but never do anything. It's a cohesive package. It all works together. So my question, oh, this is not a question. The question comes next. When we talk about the body concept and today's body, as you might guess, tomorrow we'll talk more about the mind and on Friday we'll talk about the soul. But as part of the package, we have the heart. The heart of us is the most beautiful organ, right? It's where the origin of life starts from, right? The first thing we get is a heartbeat. So the heart is very, very important. If we didn't have our heart, we don't have anything. So the heart, when you get in touch with your heart, there's so much that you can do, right? It takes you out of the mind. Sometimes the mind wants to take over and be logical and procedural. But when your heart is involved, that's when you will get a different type of thinking, a more connected thinking. It's actually what connects your soul, right? That heart connection. And so a lot of times I will take people through the breathing exercises where we imagine that we're breathing through our heart. Heart breathing opens us up and allows us to be more connected, not just with our soul, but with the people around us, with the life, with environment. And so when we talk about our body, we want to take the heart into consideration right away. And that means we have to take care of our heart. So what we eat, what we do, even our thoughts can affect our heart, right? Anxiety gets the stress levels up, causes us to have negative patterning, and it just gets us on a spiral that does not support our best health. But we can exercise. And what does exercise do? It causes our heart to pump more, which causes us to have circulation, gets all the organs functioning correctly. The system works. So we really want to get connected to our heart and what is possible with our bodies. And we do that, most of us, by movement. And, I always like to say I'm the arms and feet of God, right? I am the physical manifestation of what my purpose is on life. And I'm supposed to work it out. And a lot of that comes with movement, with taking action, with with control, right? So I don't move my body as much as I did when I was younger. I am going to be 58 this June. That just kind of blows my mind to think how close I am to 60. And it doesn't seem like that long ago that I was at 50. But life continues to move forward. You get older. And what are you taking with you no matter what? You're taking your body. So we want to protect our body. We want to take care of it, even when it feels like, what do you mean? Like, my body has health issues. Yeah, my body has health issues too. But we have to nurture that. We have to take care of that. Our body is the temple, right? It's the thing that is most important. So we have to do self-care. We have to take the actions to put us into the best health possible. Because if you don't have health, nothing else matters. The rest of it kind of runs to the side. And that's why when we have emergency health issues, everything just stops and we focus on our health. And it shouldn't be that way, right? We shouldn't have to wait to the wake-up call to have to feel motivated to do something with our bodies. Instead, we should be like, okay, wake up in the morning, embrace with gratitude that we get another day. What can we do now to be able to fulfill our purpose? Well, it starts with our mind, our thoughts, reminding us who we are, what we are, how we came to be, and what we can do from that moment forward. That's why I've initiated, like, again, I'm not much on fitness. And I know some of you got scared away, like, we don't want to do a fitness thing, but it's about moving. It's about keeping it all in place. And so every morning when I get up, run into the kitchen and I start my hot water, and then I walk. And as long as it takes that hot water to go, which we have a little hot water heater thingy, it's not an instant like boiling pot, it's a hydrogenator, and it works with the molecules in there and it heats it up, and it's supposed to be the optimal temperature for your body. And so that's part of my taking care of my body. I'm watering the plant, if you will, and I'm walking. And we have a big house, so I'm walking around my house. As the spring comes and we're getting nicer weather, it'll be an outdoor, listen to the birds. I think I've told you guys this story before, but I'll share, let's see. I'll share this beautiful story that happened this year. I guess it was in June of last year. I had my first senior leader opportunity, and it was beautiful. I had such a beautiful scenario. Great room. My leader was totally into heart breathing. And so everything was focused on the heart. So the trainer was like, do this. This is wonderful. And we just had the best experience. But it was Leadership Academy, and you are learning all these different principles, and you're practicing to be a leader, to coach people, to do the things that you want to do. And one of our participants, beautiful soul, his name was Nolan, and Nolan just had the best spirit, this amazing personality. But Nolan was confined to his bed he had a disease that atrophied the nervous system, and he had no control of his arms or his legs or his body. And so during Life Mastery, he was in a bed contorting, like he had no control of his body. His arms would flail, his back would arch up, and yet he wanted to be in the Life Academy environment. And Tony works with what's known as the triad, okay? And the first part of your triad is physiology. And that's control of your body. And you imagine what it's going to be like. So like, we could work on your triad in the physical fitness realm. Like, what does that look like? Your body is healthy. Your body is mobile. You're doing big things. Your movement, you're dancing, you're able to just go on walks, right? Like you set that physiology up. But Nolan basically shut down and he sent me a message and he said, I can't do this exercise. I don't have any physiology. I have no control of my body. And so Nolan and I went into a private room and, I felt for him. I could see the struggles he was having. And I thought, I'm not qualified to do this. But instead, I went, wait a minute. We all have a heart. And I said, Nolan, can you control your breathing? Can you control the thoughts going through your mind? I said, let's do some deep breathing exercises. Let's treat your physiology the way that you have to do it, because this is what your life is like. And so from his state, he was able to control his breathing. We noticed that controlled breathing, the calming down of the nervous system, actually helped him with some of that control of his movements. And we were able to work through. Turns out he wants to be a coach, and he was so excited, and he had to do some affirmations about being a good, positive role model and that he could help others. And we had an amazing session. Well, in the morning, I checked in with him and I was like, Nolan, how's it going? And he was telling me his affirmations and he was so excited. He'd had an opportunity to coach someone in a breakout session. So everything changed and he had this beautiful experience, right? And then he gave me the biggest gift, you guys. He said, I want to practice my coaching skills by asking you. See, part of the exercise was you went into this breakout and the person coached you and then you coached them. And he said, what is your big dream? What is something that you really want? And I was so taken aback. Like I was thinking of what could my goal be, right? And as soon as he said it, I went with the first thing I had, which was I needed to be more physically fit. And then when I said that, I went, oh no, here I'm saying this to someone who doesn't have that. And guess what? The beauty of life, right? We talked about it. We talked about how I have the ability to use my body. And I told him, I said, you know what? I want to walk more. I want to get outside and I want to listen to the birds as they chirp. And I want to force myself to do things that don't feel right, that are uncomfortable, because I have the privilege of using my body. And ever since then, I have been walking. And when I hear the birds chirp on the walks, I think of Nolan and the gift that he gave me, because it tied my why to this deep emotional experience, right? It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So, so good, so good, so good. All right. Thank you for your comments, you guys. I see Margaret saying, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And that is so true. And the thing is some of us have lost it. Let's be honest. We have reached that point where we're like, ugh, fitness, I just want to forget it. Well, ironically, that would be my position in most places too. But I also have been given the gift of my mother living with me. And right now, what's happening is she is struggling with her knees. She needs a knee surgery, and she's been with us for a couple of years now. And when she came with us, she was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't get my knee surgery because I'm overweight and they won't do it. They want me to be in a more physically fit state. And so I have watched my mom struggle to get to that place of where is she in her body? And is she able to push herself to where she can do something more? And she has lost a lot of weight. She's getting more healthy. But again, I'm blessed with this gift of watching my mom, who's 20 years older than me, and recognizing that if I don't take good steps now to keep my body mobile and effectively taking action with my body, then I may not have the opportunities that I want in the future. I want to play with my grandchildren. I want to roll around on the ground with them. I want to be able to bend down and enjoy them. And that all comes from enjoying my own body. And so that's what the impetus of this, let's see if I can put it back up on the screen. Our process today is about. is the getting that body and that mind and that soul all aligned so that we can take the actions we need. We can move the way we need. And we have our heart posture in such a way that we understand the importance, that we're not just letting it go off and someday or thinking it's all going to get better. No, we are the ones in control of our body doing the thing we need to do. All right. Let's keep moving along with a question. And the question relates back to that scripture. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul. Okay. In my mind, that means complete and total commitment. We hear a lot the term all in, but if you are all in, if you are fully devoted to whatever task you have at hand, which could be your fitness, you are going to approach things totally different, right? So what does it mean to you to be all in? Drop in the comments what it means to you to be all in and what that level of commitment looks like to you. Now, I do have a course. It's a mini course, 4 quick levels of commitment. It will remind you that when we are totally committed to something, we have a different attitude than when we are just, oh, maybe I'll try that new thing, or we think about it, but we don't take any action toward it. When we get total commitment is when we are all in. If you think about times in your life that you have been committed to something, you probably saw it through to the end. It's when you have held yourself back by your own limiting beliefs that you have recognized you haven't been all in. Like, I'm trying, but is trying actually doing it? So yes, great comment here. To be all in is to give everything you have, the mind, the body, and the soul. Yes. So glad you're getting this. All right, let's move on. Okay, so when we talk about the body, mind, and soul upgrade, what would an upgrade look like in each area of your life? This is the opportunity. Go grab your pencil and let's look at this together. And of course, we're going to look at the upgrade in the 7 key areas of life. And with that focus on all in, body, mind, spirit, and let's go with those 7 key areas. We know them. The top of mind is fitness. And you know why fitness is the first one? It's because that's usually where people are willing to start. You know, I used to be thinking that people that had the fitness goals, they just weren't like me. That was just something different. But then what I realized is fitness is an easy one to wrap your mind around and your body around because you can do something. Some of the other ones, it's like, oh, I don't know where to start, or I don't have money. You know, you have that whole thing. And then you have the fitness, right? You have that need to move your body and to do the things that need to happen. So fitness is the one that we're going to focus on, but you can upgrade your finances. You can upgrade your family, your business, your passion, your field, as we like to call it, your faith, and fun. And thank you, Betty, for prayers for my mom. I appreciate it so much. Glad you're watching this morning. All right. So as you think about how you would up-level your life in all of the areas, but specifically focused on what upgrade could you have in your body? What upgrade could you have to your mind? And what upgrade would just soothe your soul? What would support you in a way that you haven't thought about before? Write those down, and we are going to talk about our 5-step process. Now, we have our master classes each month so that we can get, they're at the beginning of the month in most cases, so that we can get firm on what are our goals for this month. So as you think about that upgrade, that what you want to have in your body, in your mind, in your soul, okay, you want to be thinking about what could you do this month to make that happen? What are the actions you could take, right? And so the first thing you want to do is just what you've done, is write them down. I can't stress enough. It's something like 3% of the people who accomplish their goals write them down. I mean, like only 3% of the people write them down. And so you've got to write them down. It puts it top of mind. You know, it's that combination, right? Like it's not just your body saying, I need to do these things. It's not just your mind saying it, but the process together creates like a package deal. And so when you write them down, your body, mind, and soul get in on the adventure, if you will. And I even would recommend writing your goals down every day of the month. And what's important about that is it keeps it in front of your mind, but it also allows you that process to be like, if these are my goals, why am I not doing them? Or if these are my goals, maybe I don't really resonate with them. And what I'm really doing is this. And then you can adapt your goals. You can be like, you know what? The reason why I'm not motivated is it's no fun to do this. I don't really want to. And that's what shifts you. So once you have your goals down, you want to commit to them. That's that level of all in. And you have to decide what commitment looks like to you. So it's one thing to write the goals down, but what are the actions that you are committed to taking for your goals? And we're going to, if you have your paper, you could just write down for each of the goals, just brainstorm every step you could take. Even if there are limitations on you, you can still write down actions. The reason why we have you do that is that your brain will unlock some other answers for you. But if you only write down one or two things, those are choices. And the brain doesn't like to make choices or decisions very much, but the brain loves to play. So if you start like, I could do this, and I could hire somebody to do this, and I could have the angels do this, or I could wave my magic wand and do this, it starts to open up, your brain starts to play with you. And it's like, well, we could do this too, and we could do that. And then there's a nugget in there, a hidden treasure, where all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Those God ideas can come to you in that open field of inspiration, right? And then what we want to do with our goals is we want to publicly put them out there. We want to, write them down, maybe put them on Post-it notes around the house, put them in the books you're reading, put them on social media, right? And when you do that, you get to publicly post. You're declaring, you're stating this is what's important. Use the pressure of social media in a positive way. If you say you're going to do this, then do it, because you know that people are watching, people are noticing, people are saying something. And then we do the fourth thing, which is we schedule or we take an action step. Okay. So ideally, we stop everything and we take the action right now as a way to prime the system, pump the pump, whatever you want to call it. But taking that action is key, and then taking the next action, and then taking the next action. If you can't do that, then schedule the time. Like, you can't do it right this minute because we're talking right now. But if you could take the next step by scheduling it in your calendar. If you're going to exercise, get that heart rate up 3 times a week, then is that going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Is it going to be at 7 or at 8 a.m.? When you put it onto your schedule, it's more likely to get done. We all have the beauty of our cell phones now with alarms and different features in there where now you can use your devices to remind you to do things. And then, of course, we want to tell somebody. We want to share what we're working on. Now, you want to pick wisely, pick people who will support you, who will encourage you. If you pick someone who is a naysayer and you know it, then you are just kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Like, you don't want to get encouragement from someone who is not an encourager. So if you're trying that, you're going to find that they're not the people for you. So find people who will support you, and you can maybe frame it in a certain way. You can be like, you know what? I have this really great goal I'm working on this month, and I need your support. I need you to remind me of how important this is. If you see me not doing this, I need you to say to me, hey, in a loving way, I noticed you're not doing the things you said you wanted to do. And a lot of times that a buddy, that accountability partner, that friend is that added piece that you need to keep moving forward on those goals. So, of course, wouldn't be a masterclass without our newly adapted Fingo card. And so it does have the 5 lines. We're going to share lines 4 and 5 over the next few days. But our Fingo card is our new device that we are using to have fun and simple success in our life. And what that looks like is we're running it like a bingo board, and we're daubing off the items that we're doing each month as a way to say, hey, we are doing the thing. And so masterclass is line 1. You are able to go to each day or watch the replay of the masterclasses. We set your goals during that time period, right? And so during the month, you have the opportunity to check in with me and do your progress and talk about your goals. And we do that before the end of the month. We do it in what's called the 3rd week of the month as a way to say, hey, you've still got time if you haven't gotten there. And then at the end of the month, we report our results. Hopefully you've got a win, a big victory, and you're able to share about that. Or possibly you've learned a lesson and you get to go forward with that. The second line of the Fingo board is for my VIPs, and I strongly encourage you to join the VIP for this time period. VIP simply means you get to be set apart and have more access to this information. So by coming into VIP, you get access to the Q&A sessions, which are in the evenings of the first 2 days of our challenge, is mostly what happens. Tonight, there's one at 8 p.m. Central. So if you are able to come to that, any of the material we covered, we just talk about it, how it affects your life, how it applies to you, the goals that you're setting and the clarity that you're looking for. We do that in the Q&As. And then you have access to the Saturday workshop that happens where we deep dive into your exact issues with some of my Tony Robbins teachings that help you to have lasting change. So whatever it is you're working on, you want to be in that weekend workshop and get that extra benefit. Everybody that comes gets to get that support. And so it is really beneficial. And you're going to find that people that are in that event need extra support. And like what they're working on is something that you are also working on. So you don't just get help for you. Everybody that's there, you get support for their issues, which are support for your issues. So you get a really good carousel of support. You also have access to office hours in the month of your VIP, which means you get one-on-ones with me or time with me in a group setting where we can answer any issues going on with you. And with VIP, you get a one-on-one quick session with me where we can personally address some of the stuff going on with you. So all of that is a great way to knock off line 2 to get your bingo. And there are prizes for bingo boards. But the one that relates to what we're doing this month exactly is the write down your goals. Line 3, commit to your goals, post those goals, take action on your goals, and tell a friend about your goals. So if you want to knock that line off, you could do that all today. How fun would that be to get your first bingo? And when you do that, I want you to post it in the community. I have the full board available in the community under files. So you can go there and grab your copy, and then we'll be talking about it each day this week. Okay. Margaret is saying that weekend workshops are the best, and go VIP if you haven't yet. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm a little bit over time. I apologize for that. I just get so excited about all these concepts and the stories I want to share. So the homework for today is there is a post. If you want the middle of your Fingo board, post your March goals, goals, depending on how gung-ho you are. And there is a post in the community right now. It should have loaded up there that you can have access to, and just write in the comments what your goals are, and you will have credit for today's homework. Awesome. Awesome. And then we will be tracking those at the end of the month, right? And then day 2 is tomorrow, March 7th, same time, but we'll be talking about the mind. And if you want to join the VIP, the question and answer is tonight at whatever time works for you. You see it there in your time zone. And then the weekend workshop is Saturday the 9th, and it starts at 10 a.m. Central. Usually lasts an hour, hour and a half. And then if you have not signed up yet, it's masterclass.coachtina.live/the fitness bootcamp. All right. So happy you guys are a part of my life. Thank you for watching today. Don't forget to put your insights and your big takeaways from this class into the comments, and putting in your comments will help support this post so that more people will know about our masterclass and will get them excited and interested in what's happening with our our fitness boot camp. All right. Thank you guys. Love you, and hope everybody has a really great night. Hope to see you in the Q&A tonight.